Collective to Dainty Doe Tarot. I'm here for a quick one today. Hopefully it's going to be quick. You never know. But I wanted to do this reading to see, I was thinking about this, who's in your energy, what's in your energy, what's going on in your energy, and why. So we're going to quickly start with some descriptors, and then we're going to move on to some oracle cards, and then we're going to head into the tarot. So as you know, with anything you do in this life, you take what resonates and you leave the rest. If there's anything, and this is a very general collective reading, if there's anything that resonates with you, take it. If it doesn't, leave it. All right. So let's take a little peek-see. Let's take a little look-see. What comes out first? We got scared to commit. So this might be some relationship energy here. Undecided, financial burdens, insecure, and plays games. Wow. So it could be many things going on here, right? At the bottom of the deck, you said lives in a fantasy world. Now, I have to be honest. I previously was pulling and something said scrap it and start all over. In the previous one, the card fantasizing did come out. So for that to show up again lets me know that that is something that is very much in your energy. Maybe you're the one deeply fantasizing, right? And it may be good fantasies, it may be bad fantasies. But if it is a person, it's not a person that's coming to you there's not a person, the person that's thinking about you, it's not a person that's very stable, at least not on the earthly realm, okay? They're not emotionally stable, with insecure and undecided, and plays games. And they're not also scared to commit. And they're also not, financially stable. They have burdens. Maybe they have a lot of money problems, or maybe they made some bad investments, or maybe they've just never been able to have a lucrative and very stable career. They like bounce from job to job, right? Or this could be your energy that I'm reading, and what's going on in your energy is what you're currently struggling with, right? Yeah, let's head into some oracle cards and see. Now I'm going to use this, it says messages of love. I'll see if there's any oracle, any other. Actually, let me pull an anchor oracle. This is from my favorite deck, African Goddess Rising. This is like one of my absolute favorite oracle decks. It's an incredible deck. Let's get an anchor. What can we anchor this reading in? What can we, something that we can come back to? Okay. Etheric quartz. Bottom of the deck, grounding. Collective, you may need to do some work in focusing on how to give yourself some anchor, right? Something to make sure that you are stable in how you operate. So let's see what Ezuli Danter has to say about the matter. Or Ezuli, am I saying her name correctly? Okay, so this is Lovers, Temple of Lovers, Fire. This is a Haitian goddess. And her goddess guidance is, if it isn't wholehearted love, release it. Remember your worth. Collective, this is definitely a person. And I wanted this to be a more general reading about life altogether, but it's coming up as love. You can pause and read the rest of this. And then her goddess declaration is, I am worthy, I am compassionate, I am whole. Okay? I just felt like I needed to say it separately to really emphasize the message. Okay, so next, let's see. Let's get some. So now going into the Oracle of Messages feels even more natural now, because we see that this is definitely, let's see. Let's see. Fine. Yeah. Go slow. Yep. Unplug. Self-care. Retreat. This vulnerability, you can be, okay, so we're getting mixed messages here. Maybe it's multiple people, maybe it's more than one person, but this is definitely something about work, because finances have come up twice. I don't know if you guys remember that old joke, my money's been acting funny. Has your money been acting funny? If that's the case, you want to focus, try not to spend too much, but maybe you really need some time to ground yourself. Maybe you really need to sit with yourself, maybe like go on a little bit of a hike, get into nature, because nature tends to really help us ground. Nature, being out with nature, especially if you're walking in forests by trees. I know it's gonna sound so like ridiculous and hippy dippy, but take your shoes off, get those toes in the grass. You know, you can always wash your feet also, but make sure that you're not stepping on anything that can like cut you or something like that. But like, get out and feel at one with the earth, and that could help restabilize you, because we have unplug, self-care, and retreat. So clearly that's going to be a part of this whole passion. So let's see what the tarot has to say about this. What's going on in this collective energy and why? What's going on in this collective energy and why? Let's see. What's going on in this collective energy and why? Let's see here. Oh, it might be a Leo. Okay. Oh, it's several people. 2 6s. Bottom of the deck, Aquarius, the star. Okay. So this is, so maybe, so, okay, I want to start with these two. So when I think of Leo, I think of someone who is very self-assured. They believe in themselves, similar to Aries, but Leo comes from a place of, Aries tends to come from boldness, right? Just daring to be as is. And Leo comes from a place of knowing, at least in my interpretation. It's like, that's why they have the card strength, because strength is being able to move the needle, whether or not move the needle in your favor, but without being an absolute asshole about it. Like, just being gentle in your approach, compassionate in your approach, leading with love in order to quote unquote tame the beast, right? As they say, kill him with kindness. That's kind of the energy. But this person is looking to have some kind of conversation. They're not gonna come to you slowly. It could be an air sign, it could be an earth sign, but they're both, it's like this together is like stagnant. See, go slow and unplug. This is like stagnant energy. Like, there's not much movement. And then when we have the 6 of Swords, which is walking away, healing, moving on to calmer waters, the calm after the storm, if you will. You also have the 6 of Wands, which is about agency, feeling self-assured, right? Being confident and knowing thyself in a very strong and powerful way, right? And that's what they're asking of you in these moments. And then look at the bottom of the deck. The Star, the Fool, and Temperance. Right? This is like very, wow. This is like very intense, caring energy, but for yourself. Even though there's other people here, you know what? If you can feel it, if you can feel this energy within you, I would recommend that you transmute. I'd recommend that you take this energy and turn it into something that you can use for yourself. Turn it into something that you can grow with, right? So let's move on to, I'm going to shuffle again. I usually don't, but I'm getting the energy of shuffling here. So let's get more on this Page of Swords. Okay, so the Page of Swords is probably of a person very much younger than you, an air sign. Their energy is loving and happy, right? And maybe this is where the self-care comes from. They're coming from a place of, you need to take care of yourself. Maybe you have a friend that has been telling you, hey, you need to slow down. You're really worried about your money, but maybe in order to get that money, you need to really focus on yourself, right? So this air sign Libra, which Aquarius was at the bottom of the deck, this person's coming from a place of giving you tender love and care. Or maybe they're having trouble with their finances, and maybe they need some support from you. Maybe you can, if you can, hand them something or two, and this is not to say to put yourself out, right? Or maybe they want to help you, but it's not for you to put yourself out or put themselves out. It's just to offer that assistance. Let's get some more on this Knight of Pentacles. Now this is funny because we have Nine of Nine of Swords and Nine of Cups. So this person probably has like deep emotional fulfillment, but, well, maybe not deep emotional fulfillment. Maybe they're striving to get there, but right now this is the energy they're in. Very much anxiety, fear, catastrophic thinking, chaos in their energy. Not much, not much self-assuredness. I guess that's why we're starting off and ending off, because maybe this is closer to your energy. And it's possible that these are people that came to offer you cups, right? But you turned it down because it didn't really suffice at the time, right? And it could be something as simple as they offer you a cup of friendship, not necessarily of love, just a friendship. I keep saying cup, so I guess it's emotional, but they made you an offer, and you just weren't really in the mood, or not in the mood. That's not the place you were in your life. You're working on self, and they just, kind of took it to heart, almost like, hey, I've got all this going on for myself. Why can't you see my value? But remember what this card said. You have to know your own value, right? They should be know their value. And remember, down here we have insecure. Is it still here? Yep, we have insecure. So it's very possible that this is the energy that is showing up for you now. Let's get some more on Leo, on strength. Let's get some more on strength. Oop. This card kind of, oop. Okay. So the Leo feels like Queen of Swords. They feel like almost lost without you. They want to communicate, but this is the thing about the Five of Cups. I always see it as protection is rejection. I mean, rejection is protection. Vice versa, it still works, right? They want to come forward. They're sending you a lot of energy. This is a lot of energy. They want to come forward, but they feel just completely depleted. They don't feel like they have anything going for them. That's not really the best. And then here's another Leo card, the Sun. That's not really the best. It's not really the best energy to come with, right? You kind of want to clear that up first before you come towards someone. Let's get something on the two sixes. What do we need to know about these sixes and how it pertains to the collective? What do we need to know about these sixes and how they pertain to the collective? Jumping out of my hand, the Star. So the sixes are about you, like what I said, Three of Cups, finding community, finding value in what you're doing on the earthly plane, and moving out of victim mentality into Nine of Pentacles. 3 nines so far, right? And the Star is all about hope. The Star is balance. I like Temperance and the Star because they show this two-way street of like one foot in the water, one foot on the ground, creating like you are the conduit in both of these energies. You are the thing connecting the water to the earth, and so far and so forth, and so on and so forth. It's hope. It's healing. It's starting over, knowing that you'll be okay in however form it comes, right? Let's get some, I kind of want to pull some of these Oracle cards. This is Tales from the Heart Oracle, so who knows how this is going to go. So let's ask about the emotional, oh geez. My person, guilty as charged, and the other card that turned itself over, soul tie. Now, if there is a soul tie here, bottom of the deck, magical moments. If there is a soul tie here, it has affected both of you very differently. It appears to me that the collective, and you can flip it how it fits, right? Because, it's almost impossible to know what is in another person's mind unless they tell you, and then you just have to trust that they're telling you the truth, right? So when I see my person, guilty as charged, soul tie, and then at the bottom of the deck, magical moments, my process is, this is someone that you may have thought you would have a real deep, long-lasting connection with, and it didn't quite work out that way. You had to walk away. Maybe they did something or you did something to kind of like cause this, but this person or you really believe that this was an intense connection. Now, I do want to read on soul tie really quick, and the guilty as charged, because this book is so small, like it's going to take 2 seconds. Let's see. I want to do the guilty as charged first. Okay. Once guilty conscious, someone feels guilty for something they see. You may not even know. And that's where all this anxiety and feeling of loss is coming from. They did something to you. You may not even be aware of it. Or maybe you did something to them and they're not aware of it, right? Let's hit on my person and then soul tie. And then we're going to be, yeah, just like I said, someone sees you as the one. And then for soul tie, we have having an emotional and spiritual connection with someone that seems unbreakable, a karmic connection. So let's get more on soul tie. Can we find out who this soul tie is with? If we can get some info on that. Let's see. An air sign and an earth sign, specifically a Capricorn. But I'm this is funny, okay? You're not talking to either of these people. Either they're not talking to you or you're not talking to them, and you are standing on business, collective. You are standing on big business. See you putting your stake in the ground. This is a very protective energy. This is a very protective energy. You're not in communication, and it's driving them crazy. But they must have done something, and that's why this card is here. They did something, and probably you have no clue what they did. You're in your own world, but they feel so bad about it, and maybe they're trying to communicate with you. And that's what these cards are about, right? But they can't get through. They can't get through. But the message is still clear. Oh my goodness, etheric cords and soul ties. Okay. So this reading started out about something. Just reading your energy collective. And now we've gone into something a little bit deeper. So if this resonates with you and there's a person that you feel like you have this deep connection with, or you thought you did, and then it kind of like fell apart, or maybe just they think that way about you, or you think that it's one-sided. It's one-sided. But there's some, what do they feel guilty about? Okay, wait, I'm going to ask, this is the last time I'm going to use Modern Rich because I'm going to go into this one. I reached for it, but it's saying one more. What do they feel guilty about? This is not what I expected at all. This was supposed to be a fun one. I always think that like when I set out with my intention it's going to be a fun reading, it turns into chaos. What is the guiltiest charge? What is the guiltiest charged? Okay. Oh. They had a plan. And I guess part of their plan was, I don't need to pull another card. This is why you get emotionally. So the person's plan was to use emotional instability against you, right? Like if you're deeply insecure, okay, so I'll give an example for me. Like I'm weird about my feet. So if I meet someone and they're like, yeah, I'm really into feet, I kind of like cringe because I go, oh, I have weird feet. Like you're not going to like my feet. Which actually happened in a past relationship. And I told him, I was like, hey, I got weird feet. I don't know if that's going to work for you. And he was like, oh, let me see. And I was like, oh yeah, that's not something I do until like we're deep in the relationship. So when we got deeper into the relationship, I showed him my feet and he was like, yeah, they are weird. And I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, well, I mean, it didn't matter to him, and we aren't together anymore, but it didn't matter to him at that time. So it was something that I was insecure about. And even though he was like a kind of foot person, not necessarily a foot fetish, but kind of a foot person, even though that kind of dissolved, at the end of it, what I learned from that was, oh, like, even though I'm insecure about something, that doesn't mean that the other person's going to have that same reaction. Like, he was like, oh, yeah, whatever. Like, he's like, yeah, they're weird, but like nothing to write home about. Like, it's not a big deal, you know? And that was comforting in a way. But then if you are in this, like, where's it? The Nine of Swords mindset. Where's that card? It's somewhere deep under here. The Nine of Swords mindset. Then you're going to, you're going to ruminate on and go, well, it doesn't matter now, but am I showing up in a lesser form of myself because he likes feet, but now feet can be a part of the thing. Like that kind of thing. If you stay on the negative, you won't be able to see the growth. And the growth in that is you're worried about something that other people probably don't even notice. You don't need to worry about it. And had I been in that Nine of Swords mindset, I could have spiraled down that thing. But once he was like, oh, I don't care. Like, yeah, they're weird, but whatever. Like, and even that reassurance of like, yeah, you're right. They are weird, but it's not weird enough that I am grossed out or turned off, or it's not that weird. regular human being. We're all different, weird kind of thing. But I just wanted to share that story as like a little anecdote of how you can choose how to perceive someone's reaction to you and make it a positive and grow from it. And that's what I learned. Like, oh, yeah, they're weird feet, but like, so what that they're weird feet? And that's it. That's the lesson, right? But whatever plan this person put in place, they attempted to use your or what they perceived to be your insecurities against you, and it didn't work. It didn't work. And so you see the Wheel of Fortune and planning, they were probably waiting it out like, yeah, I've set this seed and this person's going to break down and come back to me. And that didn't happen. And now they're sitting here like, you see, because you got all of your cards are about self-assuredness. You're like, I'm standing on big business. You got the Six of Swords, the Six of Wands, the Seven of Wands, the Ace of Swords. You're not playing about. You probably are already in this energy, and that's why this is the card that anchored you. You're already in I know my worth. And you can't strip me of that. You're probably already in that energy, collective. Good for you. And if you're the one that did this, collective, if you're the one that, tried to use someone's insecurity against them to kind of like have some kind of control in the relationship to feel more powerful, one, shame on you. And two, that's just lazy. That's just lazy work. When you can just be like, oh, this person's really powerful, or, well, I shouldn't use the word powerful. This person's really self-assured, right? Because people look at self-assuredness as power, but this person's really confident. Maybe I can learn something from them. Maybe being in a relationship with them will help me build my confidence, right? But that's not the avenue that was taken. Let's go to the next deck because I want to get into the nitty-gritty, okay? What is a card already? What is the advice for the collective in this situation? Well, what's the advice for the collective in this situation? Oh, collective. I was only going to pull 5, but it's telling me to pull 6. I guess 6 is your number. So if 6 resonates with you, then definitely this is your reading. Because 6 has come out several times. Okay. Bottom of the deck. Oh, let me tell you, let me be completely transparent. When I was preparing and I was pre-shuffling these cards, a card fell out. The first card that fell out was Ancestors, and it had 3 people on them. And I thought to myself, I wonder if this is for the message, if this is part of the message. And something said, keep this card in mind. Let me find it and show it to you, because maybe the imagery of it will also help you. I gotta go through a lot. Okay, this is another card that came out that showed its face. I should say it didn't quite come out. So maybe that is also helpful to you. But let me get the Ancestor card. I want you to see the imagery on that card because I think it's going to be important. Oh my gosh. Here we go. This card like ripped itself out of my hand. Okay. So this is one energy, right? And now that I have this here, this lets me know that you may have big energy behind you. You got a lot of people standing with you and helping you through this. They are strong with you and they're helping to hold you up. And in the places where you may fall short or you may stumble or you may have your fears or concerns, they're coming in as reinforcements. They're wrapping those loving arms around you. You see that? They're wrapping those loving arms around you. I'm getting goosebumps. And they're telling you that you're okay. You've got protection from the beyond. So we got glamour energy. That's sitting pretty, right? Using your beauty. That's why we got self-care here. These two go together. They go together real bad. Then we have bliss, which is trust. Know that you are on your right path regardless of what is going on. Trust in yourself and in the universe, because that is really what gives us calm. Having trust. Okay, things might be falling apart, but I know on the other side of this, I'm going to be Gucci. I'm going to be good. I'm going to be solid. Then we have Oya, protection. Listen, and this is funny because this is a bull. And when I did the first pull that I was told to scrap, Taurus came out in that twice, actually. So this protection has got to be here for a very good reason. We have Ansharita, which is in this deck. This is a major arcana. This is and it says solitude, so you can guess which one this is, the Hermit. Then we have equal transformation, so we have Virgo, and equal transformation, you want to just guess which one that is, just look at the imagery. That's Death card. And then Thrive, Brevity, and Tolerance. Now, let me tell you about these three coming out together. Virgo, Scorpio, and I don't think this has a, this definitely doesn't have a, any connection to any specific, card. But I want to talk about this. Because you see this bottled up energy here? I keep thinking alchemy. I keep thinking, see, okay. These last three tell a story. This is to set you on your journey, and this is the end of the journey. Looking within to find your answers. Using those answers to transform and grow to your next best self. Thrive, Brevity is tolerance. Knowing that you have the ability to withstand. And not just knowing that, but practicing that ability to withstand. So sitting back, watching things around you, taking it all in, and then using that energy for yourself. Using that energy to push yourself forward. Okay? Wow. What a reading. And that's your advice. That's your advice. Every time I pick up these cards and I say, I'm just here for a kiki, the universe goes, no, this is serious business. Get your shit together. And here we are. Here we are. So I'm going to pull one more card from each deck, and I'm going to close this out. Yeah, I'm going to pull one card from each deck. So let's just do the middle of each deck. Okay, I'll start with the first card that I pulled. So this one, good match. Okay. This one, self-sabotage in reverse. Don't fool yourself. Don't fool yourself. Lean into the ending. Lean into your transformation. Listen to self, okay? Remember your worth. I don't think I have to do it in order, but I feel like I'm gonna. Okay. Apology. You can expect the apology you want to hear. So maybe they're coming back to say sorry. And you know what? It's depending on where you are on your journey, it's always up to you whether or not you accept the apology, but it's gonna be up to you after you accept that apology, or if you don't accept that apology, what you do going forward. The Hierophant. What did I say? Taurus. So it might be a Taurus that's in here. Okay. And then we have Hermetic, create. Lean, again, use that energy to power thyself. And then finally, from this crazy deck we pulled from, I don't even want to call it crazy, it's intense. Timestamp. Now let's read that one because I don't think I've ever pulled that one before. So I'm not familiar with it. Timestamp. I can only think that this has a similar energy as like the Wheel of Fortune, right? Which we have on the deck. So let's see what timestamp says. Timestamp says a short-term break in one's relationship separation. If this is the energy of someone you're with, if you're with a Taurus, since it's come here so much and they're having financial issues or whatever's going on, or a Leo or whatever's going on, you might be in separation. That's so interesting because that didn't come out before. Well, it did with the Six of Swords. It did. So let's pull our little gems with the final information on it. This is hanging on. Let's grab it too. So we have X, E, D, Z, no, V, I, B, L, yes, S, and J. There's a lot of energy in your, there's a lot of things in your energy, a lot of people. And then there's so much good people in your energy too. This could be, people that have passed on, family members that have died. Or family members you never met, still watching over you, still protecting you, and all you need to do is feel safe with that and trust that and make decisions from a place of love and kindness, from a place of understanding and a place of growth. Make decisions now that your higher self would make. And that's going to really keep you, not just keep you safe, which for a lot of people, safety is a huge part of how the desire for safety turns into fear. And then that fear leads how you make decisions. Don't make decisions from a place of fear. Make decisions from a place of, tell yourself you're already safe, and then make the, if I didn't have to, okay, let's say you're thinking about buying a house. If I didn't have to worry about money, would this house be the right house for me? If the answer is no, don't buy that house. So make a decision rather than, well, I got to buy this house because it's the only thing my budget can afford. No, that's a place of fear. Keep looking. It might take a lot longer than you think. Wheel of Fortune. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Collective. What a fun reading. I mean, definitely a little bit more than I intended, but maybe that's the other thing in this. Don't hold so tightly to your intentions or your expectations. Don't hold so tightly to your expectations. Flow with life and flow with the energy that comes your way and use it. Okay, collective. Bye-bye.